In order to be successful for today's instruction, you need to take out your cell phone, open it up to Canvas. Then you need to, and have your breakdown ready to go because we're going to transition quickly. Okay, each of you wrote 9 essays this week. 9 essays times 97 kids. How many essays is that? Don't do the math. I really, that was more of a rhetorical question. I don't need to know. Because I don't know if you see on there, your girl, I'm your girl, worked really hard between yesterday and today to get all those things posted. Look at all those grades in there. Hello? Sick kid. Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate your support with your shoulder shrug. Thanks, man. I get paid so well by this, Andrew. Thank you. Huh? Well, know that I did it, yeah? So, with that being said, if you have a zeros that cleared zeros this morning, it means you didn't turn it in. Which, your grades are averaging. Good God. Hopefully you noted, because there's so many grades that went in. If you did all the things, your grade went up significantly, yes? A couple whole percentage points. That's a big deal at this point of this year. If you didn't do it, your grade plummeted significantly. Can we agree? You also saw that. So, if you turned it in and it's not on there are 2 reasons why. First reason, you're an idiot because you didn't put your name on it. That's a you problem, not a me problem. So, if you have a 0, it's because you didn't put your name on it. Can we agree? So, if you're one of these people, you need to come over here. I can already tell you, Sean Murphy, you were one of them.
I have every single one of my
Oh, well, you're blue pen, which is very defining.
I usually do write blue pen.
One of you, it's here on my wall. All you have to do is pluck it off, put your name on it, and put it in the drop-off box, yes? So, that's the first step that I would do. Second step, if it's not on my no-name wall of shame, it's because I mistakenly missed it in a massive pile of essays. By the way, these are all the essays I put into the box today. Take a look. Does that look like a little pile or a big pile? That's a big pile. So, if I made a mistake, know that it was not malicious, okay? I tried really hard, and I was trying to do it quick so you could get a quick turner. So, if you have a 0 and you know you turned it in, all you gotta do is go into your second period bucket and dig through and find it. It was done by mistake. It is not malicious. Once you find it in your box, then you are going to, thank you, put it in my drop-off box. That tells me, Bennett, you're an idiot and you need to record this. So I will record it before I leave school today. Is everyone clear? Hello? So, if you have a 0, but you know you turned it in, it is either on my no-name wall of shame, Colin, it might be Colin's, and then, or it's in my box and all you gotta do is go digging for it. Is everyone clear? No papers get thrown away. Nothing was done maliciously. I tried really, really hard and that was a quick turnaround. By the way, still got a sick kid. Okay? So, with that being said, any questions on what to do? Do you need to tell Samantha Bennett she's an idiot? No. By you putting it in the box, it tells me I'm an idiot. Should have recorded it the first time. Is everyone clear on that? Mistakes do happen. It's not malicious. That was a lot of paper I showed you, wasn't it? So, if a mistake happens, it was not on purpose. It was not malicious. With that being said, let's go. We got a lot to do with civil liberties and civil rights. Okay. Civil liberties is where we're going to start. Civil liberties. Put a box around it. Our rights. That belong to everyone. Whatever. No, that's not. Things are going great for me. Things are going great for me. All right. So our rights that belong to everyone. No, I got it. Thank you, though. Belong to everyone. They are protections against the government and are guaranteed by the Constitution, legislation, and judicial decisions. Okay. Constitutionally given is your next subheading. constitutionally given. You have writ of habeas, H-A-B-E-A, corpus, which means you must be brought to trial and told of the charges. Period. Second is no bill of attainder. You cannot be punished without a trial. Next is no ex post facto laws. Laws applied to acts committed before. No self-incrimination. You can't provide info that hurt you, that hurts you. No double jeopardy. You can't be prosecuted twice for the same crime. And of course, the 14th Amendment. Which creates incorporation. Put a box around it, it's the word of the week. It requires states and local governments to guarantee the Bill of Rights. Okay. First thing, next one is freedom of religion. Okay. It follows the Establishment Clause. Which says Congress cannot favor one religion over another. Okay, we see this in Engel versus Vitale. Okay, the court ruled that a school sanctioned prayer in public schools is unconstitutional. Then you have the Lemon Test, used for evaluating a law. 1, is it secular? In purpose? 2, it doesn't help or hurt a religion. 3, doesn't increase government entanglements. Same with religion. The next clause is called the free exercise clause. Guarantees the right to practice any religion or no religion at all. This is protected by Wisconsin versus Yoder. If you see the name Yoder, what do you know it is? Hello? They're Amish people. Okay, so in Wisconsin versus Yoder. Okay, it's Wisconsin. Wisconsin could not require Amish parents to send children to public schools beyond 8th grade because it challenges long-held beliefs. Next is freedom of speech. It is protected by, there are 3 types. Pure, which is the most common, and most protected. And it's all verbal. Speech plus is verbal and symbolic, seen in rallies and picketing. It can be limited. Okay, if you've been following the Donald Trump felony charges and all the other things that he's in court for, he says that he has speech plus by going to the January 6th and saying that he is protected by saying the things that he said under speech plus. So if you're following that, that's what he is using in courts to protect himself. Whether you agree or disagree, the courts will decide here shortly. Using actions, symbolic is using actions and symbols, like burning a draft card. It is the least protected, but allowed. So you can do some things, but you can't do all things. So those are the 3 types of freedom of speech. Okay. On your next little heading under freedom of speech is called regulating. Under regulating, you have Schneck versus United States. This is all under freedom of speech. It's about World War I mailers. Mailers are something you put in the mail, like flyers. Urging people to peacefully protest Okay, he broke the law because it was wartime and he stated disobeying military orders. Okay, during wartime, do you have the same rights as we do during peacetime? No, because it can all be used under national security. So you can't say whatever you want during wartime. Okay, the punishment is much more severe during wartime because it's a national security issue. Tinker. First, Des Moines. You can wear an armband in protest in schools as long as it doesn't disrupt school. So, can you protest Hillsborough County schools in school? Yes, you can, as long as it doesn't disrupt the day. Okay? If it causes a disruption, you will be banned from it. Freedom of the press. Okay? It's protected because it's closely related to the First Amendment. Perfect example is New York. Can I just write NYT? Okay. Versus US. Okay, confirmed that prior restraint parentheses has to be of national security end parentheses did not apply to the Pentagon Papers. Period. Underline New York Times versus US. Okay, freedom of assembly. I'm going to tell you right now, this one's the most annoying one because it's one big long thing. Assembly and petition. Okay. The right of people to, in quotes, peacefully assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. And period, end quote. Okay, the government can, and I would underline, can require, and I would put a colon, not a colon. What's the two little dots? No, semicolon. Oh, it is a colon, isn't it? Okay, see? Here we go. Can require a permit. Certain facilities, parentheses, school / airports, end parentheses, are restricted from demonstration. Comma, can restrict assembly, but must apply to all groups equally. You cannot use private property. And police can be used to disperse demonstrations. To keep, sorry, it's just about over. To keep the peace. There you go. Done. Told you it was annoying. All right, Second Amendment. Underneath it, prior to 2008, challenges were rare, but the District of Columbia versus Heller changed that when it said DC could not ban handguns. Okay, you need to underline District of Columbia versus Heller. So, if you love the Second Amendment and gun rights is a big thing for you and your family, you love what Supreme Court case? District of Columbia versus Heller. That is why right now in 2023 there are so many guns in the United States is because of this code. Literally, since 2008, gun ownership has exploded. If you hate how many guns there are in the United States, what Supreme Court case do you blame responsible for this? District of Columbia versus Heller. It's a big deal. So whatever side of the argument you're on, that is what you love or you hate. McDonald versus City of Chicago. This is in 2010. So is this after or before? After. Court said state bans are unconstitutional. This leads to the strengthening of the right to bear arms. So, because the Heller ruling, then we get the McDonald versus City of Chicago, which means a state cannot ban guns. All right. Then you have property rights is your next one. Property rights. This is my favorite one. The 5th and 14th Amendments protect private property. Isn't that fun? I like that one. That's it. That's why it's my favorite. All right, flip it over. Okay, right to privacy. Constitution says nothing about privacy. But the 14th Amendment, because it's always the 14th, Amendment's due process is used to protect privacy. So if you're going to court because you want more privacy, which one are you going to use? 14th. Here we go. Rights of the accused. The Bill of Rights. addresses the rights of the accused, but the 14th Amendment, because it's always the 14th, extends those protections to the state. Do a call? No? All right, here we go. Underneath it, you're going to write the 4th. Amend creates the exclusionary clause, which is to deters illegal police conduct by excluding / barring evidence obtained in violation of the 4th Amendment. Okay, so if the police illegally take something out of your backpack without a warrant, not at school because you have no rights at school, but when you're 18 and you are an adult, if they illegally search and seize your car and find like drugs or that you've committed a crime, it cannot be used in court because it was illegally found. Okay, 5th Amendment is all about self-incrimination. And it is protected by Miranda versus Arizona. Okay, which creates Miranda rights. Come on now, we know what they are. We've all seen Law and Order. What do we say? When you get arrested, what is the first thing they say to you? You have the right to remain silent. Oh, come on. Right. To remain silent. ... We're not writing the whole thing out. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Dun, dun, dun. 6th Amendment. Okay, is the right to attorney. Okay, and this is all from Gideon versus Wainwright, which is what we did yesterday. Isn't that fun? Oh, yeah. Which is court ruled in state trials. Those who can't afford one will be provided. I'm sorry. Provided. Sorry, I have to cross it off on mine too. Provided by the state. Make sure you underline Miranda versus Arizona and Gideon versus Wainwright, please. All right, next we are finally in civil rights. So we're going to write civil rights really big. Civil rights, and we're going to put a box around it so we know that we are transitioning to civil rights. Okay. They are the positive acts of government designed to prevent discrimination and provide equality before the law. Period. They are protected But guess what? Oh, yeah. Protected by the 14th Amendment. Period. Okay. You need to know amendments. Passed after Civil War. First one is 13th, and it abolishes slavery. 14th, it defines citizenship. Provides due process. Hold on. Oh, God. Hank has 103 fever. Provides due process. By the way, we thought we broke it last night. And equal. What time is it? What time is it? I can't see it on my watch. And equal protection, which are now used by the states to enforce the Bill of Rights. And then you have the 15th Amendment. Individuals cannot be denied the right to vote on race or because they were once slaves. Now, all of these things are passed. So the American Civil War is 1861 to 1865. These are all passed between 1865 and 1868. Okay? Did they go into effect? Ish. They went into effect for about a year, about 4 years. Where that one is when we had the largest amount of black senators and Congress members in the history of the United States. There were more black Congress members and senators in the 1880s than there is today in 2023. By the way, and then a thing called Jim Crow laws started, which started taking back all the rights of what black Americans had earned during the Civil War and with these 3 amendments. And those Jim Crow laws are going to be in effect for about 100 years. So it is not until the 1960s do we start actually honoring these things. Just a little nugget of knowledge here. So it takes about 100 years for these things to actually begin taking effect. And do we have genuine inequality here in the United States? No. There's a lot of inequality in many different facets, not just black versus white. There's lots of different inequalities. I think it's important that we mention them and say their names. Because if we don't address them and say their name, where the inequality lies, then can we do anything to fix it? Because the best thing about the United States of America, the best thing about this country is our pursuit of a more perfect union. And the only way you can get a more perfect union is if you call it out for what it is. Here we go. Major court cases / primaries. Okay, first one is Plessy versus Ferguson. And this is in 1896. So is this after or before the Civil War? After. So how well is the 14th Amendment being listened to? Yeah, not well. Okay, it's a Supreme Court. Court allows separate but equal doctrine. Okay, this is the justification and the allowance of the Jim Crow laws. All right, on the other side, then we got Brown versus Board. 1954. Okay, overturn. Plessy versus Ferguson. And stated that separate but equal violated the 14th Amendment. Equal Protection Clause. And who is the lawyer that argued this? Thurgood Marshall, first black Supreme Court justice. After he wins Brown versus Board, he will later be appointed to the Supreme Court. He was not on the Supreme Court when this decision was made. It is done after. First black man to be on it. Title IX of Education Act. Of 1972. Ladies, I'm talking to you. Have you ever wondered, ladies, why we have female sports? Have you ever wondered why women are now 55% of universities? We're beating the boys in universities. We are at the highest. We are filling the highest percentages. Why? Title IX, baby. The fact that we are given an equal shot in education and given opportunities, ladies and gentlemen, mostly ladies though, is Title IX. What is it? It is a federal law that prohibits discrimination based on sex. And who is going to be the lawyer that argues for Title IX to pass, giving all the ladies in the room the opportunity to be in the room? RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, is going to be the one who argues and wins this. She is a titan in women's rights. That's why she's such a big deal. This has led to female sports, curriculum, and secondary ed opportunities. There you go. Title IX, ladies. That is why you are in the room. All right. Next one is letters from a Birmingham prison. It is written by MLK Jr. and it's his response to people who are critical of his demonstrations. Period. He argues that nonviolence requires fact-finding, negotiations, self-purification, and direct action. Period. Okay. We all know that Martin Luther King Jr. is an American hero, yes? Okay. We have a day of national celebration. He's got his own monument in D.C., all the things. You do know that Martin Luther King Jr. was hated in the 1960s, yes? The man got assassinated. He got literally shot for what he was doing. Now today, in 2023, we think back of him of what a leader, transformative, how impressive, okay? He's one of the people you'd probably like to meet. He's that awe-inspiring, yes? But keep in mind, in the 1960s, he was shot. He was assassinated for what he believed in. So, have times changed? Yes, but it's important to understand that he was doing transformative things and it was not welcome. This is the 1960s. Not that long ago, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Other minorities. Hispanics. These are people in the U.S. with Spanish speaking heritage. Does that mean you have to speak Spanish? No, no, no. It is the fastest growing minority. They are limited by the unequal education and healthcare. Then you have Native Americans. $2 million. Live on reservations. They face discrimination. Poverty. Unemployment. And alcoholism. They have gained gaming, regulatory act of opening casinos, and the U.S. government is now encouraging Native culture and learning. Why are we supporting it now? Oh, because we're not so supportive earlier, and AKA destroyed it, but we'll talk about that later. All right, Asian Americans. 1882. U.S. passed the Chinese Exclusion Act, limiting the number of Asians permitted after Pearl Harbor. People of Japanese descent were forced into relocation camps. You only have one more. Take a photo of it. It's people with disabilities. It's just one little blurb. No problem. Just remind me. It's really not a big deal. I always have a checkup. And if it actually helps, it's what matters the most. Bye! Have a good weekend. I'll see you on Monday. Hopefully your weekend's better than mine. Because, this week has been horrific. Monster Man. Why can't I catch a break, dude? Why can't I catch a break? I'm a